Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're working on the coupe today. Gonna start getting this engine bay dialed, shaved, and prepped to paint. So about a couple months ago, I started welding up all the holes. I started grinding them down yesterday. Now, when I went to look at this car, the only thing that stopped me from buying it was something happened over here. I don't want to say it was an accident because this whole side would be screwed up. It's almost like they dropped something on here. Like maybe when they were taking the motor out or putting the motor in, they hit this because it was all bent up right here. I mean, these aren't damaged at all. You know, this thing was not hit in the front. So I honestly think somebody just dropped something on here, or maybe the truck backed into it, but it's not so bad that it can't be fixed. It's a little messed up over here, so I spent some time and I tried to hammer it out a little straighter and better. Another thing is, this is where the fender bolt goes, but I'm basically just going to cut this out since it's all nice and flat. Cut this one out and put this piece here and put a smooth piece of sheet metal here and weld that in. And since I'm doing it on this side, I'm going to do it on this side as well. I'm just going to cut this out and smooth it. This one's okay. I just don't want one side to be smooth and the other side not smooth, so I'm going to do it both sides. You can see this when the fender's on. You see about half of it, so I want it to be equal on both sides. It's a lot of work going on in this engine bay, guys. If you've ever done one, you know what I'm talking about. I've never done an engine bay to this extent. I've sanded down a whole engine bay and painted it, but I've never welded up all the holes. I've never deleted the sway bar brackets. I never welded in a new core support. So this is all first time for me. I have the Scott Rod panels. I already fitted them in here. So basically we just got to do a bunch of grinding and re-welding and more grinding and filling up those holes, and we can start getting this thing prepped to paint. I also got to finish welding our heater lines cut out that I made, so that's got to get finished up. So I already got the welder out, so we're gonna get welding here. Well, guys, we can only get so far until shit happens, and shit happened. My welding helmet is an auto dimming helmet, so when it senses an arc, the helmet dims so you don't go blind. But mine stopped dimming all of a sudden. You know, if you test it, you hold it up to the sun, it should go dim, and didn't. So I was like, great, I probably need a new lens. So I figured, you know, there's probably batteries inside, so I took it apart. I'm gonna try to replace the batteries here. I went to O'Reilly's and I just picked up some new batteries. So there's a little circuit board in here, so kind of just pop the battery off here. And we're gonna see if I can fix it, because if I can't fix it, we're gonna need a new one regardless. So let's see what I can do here. Well, it's a week and a half later. Finally got my welding helmet. Let's check it out. It's a Miller Digital Elite Series. The Clear Light 2.0. Pretty cool. We'll see how she works in action. Look at that nasty thing. Nasty. This thing was nasty, guys. There's no way I was gonna let this go in the car, so spent about an hour cutting this out, shaping it up, and this is like night and day. So let's go see how she fits. Fits pretty well. What I got to do next is clamp this down, get this all lined up. Gonna have to drill a hole in there for the clip for the fender bolt. So there it is, guys. Turned out pretty well. Well, guys, it's been almost 2 weeks later since I last left off with you. I know it was probably a second due to the magic of editing, but I got most of the paint stripped off here, started sanding it. I started welding up more of the holes after I did some grinding. I got those pieces I cut out to fill in the holes pretty much welded in. So here we are, guys. We're looking at weeks and weeks of work, and we're still not done. I don't know how many times I thought I was done welding up holes, and I found some more. The last few holes were the holes here, one there, a few here. I didn't weld up these holes because I'm gonna make a nice radiator support that's gonna cover all this. I hit the whole engine bay the other day with some metal prep to help this not rust before I get my primer. Ordered some primer, it's on the way. A lot of work, guys. If anyone has done the Skyride panels and you're at the show, make sure you tell them that you did a hell of a job, because this is no joke. The Skyride panels, there's no sure way to install these. I mean, you go on Google, your YouTube, and you search around and you can see how people have done it. There's a lot of controversy on the ways that people do them. So I covered the back of the panels with some 415, I got all the way into the edge and I left maybe 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch for the welds. I also put some Port 15 on the frame rail here because I wasn't going to be able to get the primer in this little area here, so I just wanted to make sure that I covered all that area to prevent any rust. When I get my primer, I'm gonna prime, you know, this whole engine bay is gonna be done from top to bottom, inside and out. So I'm gonna even repaint this. So that's what I did. I fully welded these in. It took me about an hour. You just got to take your time tacking them. You know, I always do like maybe 3 inches apart, all the way down. I then go to the other side, 3 inches apart, and then where you put your first tack, add another one, and just keep adding it until it's fully welded so the panels don't warp. Same thing all the way down here. I welded it completely in, did a few tacks this way and a few on the bottom here. Probably going to seam seal this. I got some direct to metal seam sealer. I'm gonna put some seam sealer all through there, all along the top here. I've heard if you use a body filler, it'll crack. So don't want to take that chance. Talk to my painter. He's like, yeah, use this stuff. It's the best, especially for these areas. That area was very tough to get. I ended up getting my Dremel because I couldn't get a power tool in here. And it took forever. I still got to clean it up maybe a little bit better. But I'm going to cover it up with some seam sealer, body filler. Smooth it out. We're still running a clutch cable, so I'm keeping that whole. Deleted the wiper assembly. Not gonna drive this car in the rain. So yeah, a lot of holes, guys. A lot of freaking holes. We'll see how mine holds up in the long term. I'm also thinking about putting some of that, they call it the snake skin or that textured insulation under here. They kind of use it like this undercoating stuff. It's kind of like a rubbery. It's really hard to get off of too. When you grind it, it just melts, and yeah, it kind of ruins your flap disc. I think I'm gonna put something like that on this end, on this inside here, and then on the inside of the engine bay, it's gonna be the color of the car. So I did trim the firewall. This edge sticks out a little bit. I trimmed that all the way down so it's flush. A lot going on. I still have some paint in some areas I gotta get out. I couldn't find a tool that was small enough to get in there. I hit this with paint thinner. I sanded it, even with the metal prep, and there's still freaking paint in there. So there it is, guys. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Just wanted to give you an update, and we'll see you on the next one.